I think we could start. So good evening, everyone, all the students and everyone present here for this webinar. A very warm welcome to all of you to another very amazing and informative session happening today on Shiksha. So I'm Bhagyashree Gupta, your moderator for this session, and I will be introducing you to someone who will be here to guide you and take over the entire session from Plaksha University Admission. As we know, the topic for today's session is all about admissions at Plaksha University. So I have with me Shaurya, who will be leading today's session representing Plaksha as the moderator. Also, I have on the panel Mrs. Kanchi Khanna, Senior Director, Admissions and Outreach from Plaksha University, to help you and guide you regarding everything about the admission process, the procedures, the curriculum, and all your queries will be taken care of in this entire session. So I'd just like to get hold and draw the string to Shaurya taking over the session and starting off with this webinar with information from Plaksha and solving all your doubts and queries. So Shaurya, over to you, please.
All right, thank you so much, Bhagyashree ma'am. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you to this session with Plaksha University. I'd like to invite our Senior Director for Admissions and Outreach, Ms. Kanchi Khanna, to give you an overview of the university.
So, good evening to everyone who's signed in, and thank you so much for your interest in Plaksha. Well, Plaksha University is, like I always say, the new kid on the block. We're one of the younger universities. We started last year with our BTech program. Our first batch, and Shaurya as a part of that batch, was the founding batch that's come in, and now we are recruiting the second batch of students for Plaksha. We also run another program, the TLP program, which has been running for 3 years. But the BTech program, which I just spoke about, has started last year. Shaurya, if you could also, maybe put up the presentation. I'll quickly walk through everyone about what Plaksha really stands for. And once we've gone through that, I'll focus a little bit more on the admissions process. Okay, Shaurya, just keep moving the slides. I'll just quickly run people through. So Plaksha is located in Mohali. We're about 10 minutes from the Chandigarh International Airport. It's very much a part of the city, and it's not like way out in the wilderness, but really a part of Mohali city. And Mohali, Chandigarh, and Panchkula are actually a tri-city. It's a collection of three townships together. So, why Plaksha? A lot of people ask us why Plaksha, because there were so many engineering institutes and colleges and tech universities in India. Did we really need another one? We looked at the data and we realized that there were very few Indian graduates who were really doing justice to their engineering education. Even though they were engineers, they weren't working in the field of education. And if we deep dive, we scratched the surface to understand that, we realized they were not being exposed to the emerging technologies. What they were learning at college level was not really relevant for the jobs that they were taking up. They were not getting exposed to real life projects. They were not doing internships. Their faculty were not talking about artificial intelligence or any of the emerging technologies. So because of which they were really ill-equipped, and there was a study by Aspiring Minds which said 80% of them are unemployable. Not unemployed, they did find something to do, but really unemployable in good engineering jobs. Next. So engineering, the way we define it, is an engineer is a problem solver. Somebody who can bring together a lot of perspectives, understand, collaborate with others to problem solve, because problems today are very, very complex. And to be able to solve them, you need multiple skills. Problem solving itself is a very complex skill. And, Shaurya can maybe add here and tell us a little bit about how he's using these skills to solve problems maybe on campus, because I know they've already started doing that. Shaurya, would you like to add to this a bit?
Yeah, definitely. So all of our courses do give us a diverse set of skills, and most of them are being implemented on campus. We are actually in the process of having our campus to be a net zero campus, which is absolutely sustainable. So from water management to waste management, electricity, and everything. So that is what our goal is, and that is where we are also implementing all of our skills that we're gaining through our courses on campus itself.
Yeah, that's great. So the idea is that students first start solving problems on campus, then they take up problems maybe of the city, and later they take up larger problems which are more nationwide or more international in their level. Okay, next. So a lot of studies have actually said that, these are the kind of skills that are going to keep you, these transferable skills or 21st century skills or soft skills, whatever you call them. These are the ones that are going to really hold you in good stead. And whatever jobs you do, whatever jobs we can't even imagine right now, those are the jobs that will be successful at them if we pick up these kind of skills, which are critical thinking, which are good collaboration, analytical skills, rather than very specific technical skills, which really you need to upskill yourself at every few years, right? So when we were imagining Plaksha and when we were putting it together, there were a few things that we knew that we must do. One is that make this engineering curriculum interdisciplinary. A lot of work has happened in the liberal arts space. Studies have become interdisciplinary in arts and social sciences, but very few were looking at it in the sciences space, in the engineering and technology space. So bringing in humanities, bringing in social sciences, so that a technologist is actually successful at whatever he does, because he also understands the other parts of it, the other perspectives to implementing technology. Also, we wanted to make it very, very hands-on. So what we are aiming to do is that at least 50% of the time is spent in labs and 50% time in theory. And that's very important for us, that they learn by doing and not really just bookish knowledge. And last but not the least, what we really want them to do is to pick up leadership skills. What Plaksha offers is a leadership program. We want to make technology leaders and not just engineers, because we want them to drive change and to innovate and to be creative in the field of technology. Can we move to the next? So Plaksha's strength is always been Plaksha's community. And when we talk about the Plaksha family, we mean people who have set it up, we mean people who now teach, and the faculty at Plaksha, and also the students at Plaksha. And each one of these set of students, set of people is really handpicked and selected from amongst many. Also the academic advisory board, which is now up on your screens, you can see that we've got deans from some of the top universities, we've got a Nobel Prize laureate, we've got really the who's who over here. Anyone who can add to the understanding of a technology education. And these are people who are not just here because they lent their names here, but because they've been giving their time to us to develop the curriculum that is being now taught at Plaksha. And it's a very lean curriculum, very new. We've also tied up with a few organizations and universities. We've tied up with some of them are on your screen right now. There'll be many more coming up. We are in the process of making more tie-ups. It'll mean that students get to work on research projects which may be joined, get faculty from these amazing places, also go there and maybe study courses there, which of course will be an opportunity which will be available maybe from the next year onwards when they choose their majors. Go ahead, Shaurya. Shaurya, okay, next slide, please. So Plaksha education, what sets it apart? How is it different? And a lot of that comes to me often. A lot of people ask us those questions. First of all, is the design of the degrees. If you look at them, they are interdisciplinary. The biological systems engineering draws from human sciences, it draws from the computer science, it draws from other engineering courses. All four of them are really interdisciplinary. And also the way they are taught. It's not just the design of the curriculum, but also how they are taught. That's different too. I spoke a little bit about learning by doing. We've got maker spaces, coding cafes, labs, and a lot of other places where students actually apply what they've learned in class. And that's the whole fun of it. And also the way we've designed the entire 4-year experience. The first year, the first 3 semesters, they do a sort of a foundation course, which is common for everyone. In the 4th semesters, when they start choosing what major they want to pick up. So any of these 4 they could pick up, And then the next 2.5 years, they spend in deep diving this, taking up projects, internships, doing their capstone in this. This kind of flexibility is not available in most engineering institutes right now, because you have to choose before you go in. In fact, you don't choose, you are allotted a seat. You love to do computer science, but you end up doing metallurgy because for some reason, or for some reason you got 98.55 instead of 98.65. So we don't think that's fair. We think it should be the student's choice. And once they come in, they should be able to explore and choose what they want to do. Shaurya, would you like to tell us what you're planning on doing here?
So essentially, since we also do get the freedom to pick our majors after the first 3 semesters, where we're exposed to all sorts of courses which are in line with all 4 of them, all 4 majors that we offer. However, in my case, I'm still on the verge of deciding between data science, economics, and computer science and artificial intelligence.
And data science and economics is quite, economics and business is quite a popular course among students, right? What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, definitely. I think robotics, data science, I mean, all 4 of them, there are a lot of students who are interested in a lot of them. So I think probably it'll get clearer for each and every one of us as we go further. Some of us already have made our decisions, but a few of us are still trying to figure it out.
I think we can skip these courses, the slides on courses, and that's a little, we might pick them up later if there are any questions around these. But yes, we spoke about faculty, very high caliber faculty. There are some very senior professors with many years behind us experience, and some of them are really young researchers whom we think bring that kind of energy into the classrooms. And these lists are all on our website. If you want to see what they're doing, what their background is, you'll be able to find out from there. Could we just move forward? Yeah, so just click on the next 2 slides. So because Plaksha has faculty and academic advisories from some of the top universities and institutions all over the world, it's going to create pathways for our students, getting recommendation letters, getting exposed to global projects. That makes it possible for our students to do masters at some of these best institutions, top institutions, sorry. And also because we are founded by about 70 plus corporate leaders, we have access to these companies, and they have already started giving projects to our senior fellows, and also to our and also will be doing the same with our undergraduate batches. So placement possibilities, and some of these are absolutely a reality. Okay, next. The campus is beautiful. If you could just scroll through, I think, Shaurya, I don't need to talk about it. If they can see pictures, and later if they, because we haven't put up too many pictures on campus, people have been asking on social media, they've been asking us, just scroll through, just pause for a minute and scroll it through. So we're in a hub of educational hub. We have ISB, Punjab University, ISER, Punjab Engineering College, IIT Ropar. We have so many of these colleges around ourselves, which just makes it possible for us to collaborate and have a more richer experience for our students. That's the campus, how it'll look like, say, after a few years, because that's the entire thing. But a large part of it, 2 phases of it are already built. 1 phase is functional, which is more than enough for at least 2 to 3 batches coming in. And the rest of the construction is going on. That's cordoned off, and we'll continue to build on this campus. It's a huge campus for the next few years as well. Just scroll through. We can move on. Next. Yeah, that's the library. Students have access to it. The dining areas. It's a residential program. Everyone stays on campus. We want our students to learn outside of classroom as much as they learn inside of classroom. And that's the other facilities available here. Would you like to tell us, Shaurya, about some of the sports that students are taking up now? Sporting and other.
Definitely. I mean, we already have a basketball team in place, which is competing in local and district tournaments as well. We have football, we have volleyball, we have a tennis court, badminton, the squash courts are currently getting built. they'll be ready at any time this summer. We have table tennis, we have yoga, so we have a very interesting extra credit course on yoga and wellness. Then we have a wellness center and a health center.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, we can come to the admission slides now. This is pictures of the room, but this is an empty room. Students have done up their room, so they look much prettier. Just move ahead quickly. Okay, yeah. So admissions, what we really wanted to talk about today. So for eligibility, you should either be in your grade 12 or you should have completed your grade 12, right? There is no age limit as such. Even if you've taken a couple of gap years, you're most welcome to write our applications and apply to us. We'll be happy to go through those, right? You should be from an recognized board. It could be the state board, it could be the CBSE, ISC, it could be the international boards. Everyone, it's a level playing field for everyone. So we know what it means for a student to get a certain percentage in IGCSE, and we also know what it means for the student to get that much in, say, a Telangana board or a Mumbai board. So we are not comparing a state board student to an IB student, but we are comparing them to other students from the same boards. Okay. Everyone needs to have had math to apply for our programs. Can we just go back to the previous one, maybe? So math is compulsory for all 4 subjects. Physics is compulsory for all 3 except for data science. Data sciences, if you're strong in mathematics, you don't have physics and chemistry, it's perfectly okay with us. And now we can move ahead. So if you apply with predicted grades, you get a conditional offer. If you send us a standardized score, we can also give you a firm offer much before your board exams. So we need one standardized score. It could be your final 12th board. It could be your SAT, ACT, JEE Mains, KVPY, or the Pearson exam. Any one of these can get you a firm offer. If you don't have this, we'll give you a conditional offer, which means whatever you're predicting, please get that much and we are good to make you an offer. So we are not just looking at grade 12, we are looking at your journey from class 9th onwards. So 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. Why we ask you to write essays is we want to understand how you think, what kind of a person you are. Most engineering institutes, again, do not ask you those questions. They only want to know whether you're good at PCM or not, right? And everyone has to be good at it. So the class has only students who are good at PCM. Nobody cares whether they have other aspects to them, but we do. So its admissions is very, very holistic. We also want to know your co-curricular activities. Now this section is very important for us. Why? It tells us that whatever you learned in class, you also tried to apply it outside. So any project, any research paper, any analysis that you have done, share that with us. Sometimes schools don't encourage projects. Sometimes you do them at home. Sometimes you must have done them at another organization. We are open to everything. If it's a class project, great. If it's an outside class project, great too. Right? Even if you think it's a very small thing you did at home, there was this child who came in to an interview and said, my mother wants me to water the plants in my house every day. There are 100 plants, I get tired. So he created an irrigation system. All he had to do was turn on the tap. So that's a project, right? So you're solving a problem, you're using technology and science to solve it. It's good for us. Do send us everything that you've done. Extracurriculars, we want you to be a multifaceted, well-rounded person, which means do tell us about any sporting activities you do, music, dance, drama. If you enjoy that, do mention that as well. It helps your application if you have multiple abilities. If we like your application, we call you for the second round. Now the second round again has 2 parts. One is a case study that we put forward to you, and it's called the Innovation Challenge. Very simply put, it's like a case study. You read it and you try to answer it. We give you 1 hour. You're also allowed to use Google, but we don't want you to copy from Google. We want you to get data points so that you can think about it. The second part is the one-on-one interaction where we talk to you. So we have a whole, a view of you from your application. But when we actually meet you is when we get a deeper understanding of, what your motivations are, what your aspirations are in life, and those are very important for us. Okay. So, and great. That's it. And should we close for questions, or is there more that you would like us to focus on, Shaurya? A little bit more, or is that okay?
I think we can move on to questions.
Yeah,
There
I
are
think
quite a few questions.
otherwise, it becomes a little monotonous. Yeah.
Right.
We can take away the presentation. Let's look at the questions. I think people have started putting their Q&As.
Right. So I think first and foremost, one of the questions we had was that how does a student know if his or her profile is good enough to apply to Plaksha? Like, how can they measure their eligibility, or say, how can they measure their profile when they're applying to Plaksha?
Yeah. So I think I saw it on your website a little while ago. Shiksha had put up that you need to have above 90% to apply to Plaksha. While our averages have been that, but I don't want you to self-select. Do apply to us if you are interested in the courses that you think, because it's holistic admissions process. Sometimes your school scores may not be strong, but the way you do the innovation challenge or the way you engage with us in the interview could give you very high scores. So don't self-select yourself. Don't say, okay, this is too high a cutoff or something, and I don't, because we don't function on cutoffs, right? How will you know that you are ready, your application is good? You should have academic strength in maths and physics. If you're not that great in English, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But math and physics should be strong. If you're applying for data science program, then math has to be really strong. Second, you should have some co-curricular projects. You should be able to tell us about some projects that you've done. And you should have some extracurriculars. A well-rounded profile is strongly appreciated. So whether it's swimming that you do, or music, or dance, or drama, drawing, art, anything you like to do outside, photography, a lot of things, then please put those there. It helps your application. Last but not the least, think a lot about the essays that you're writing. Most people feel that the essay is not something that's going to get evaluated, so they don't make the effort. It's just whatever comes to your mind, you paste it there. And don't plagiarize. The minute you plagiarize, you don't realize that when we get thousands of applications, somebody else has also copied what you have copied. And there was a year when there was last year, I remember at least 4 or 5 applicants had written the same essay. So we come to know, and then your application gets rejected. On the other hand, if you're writing from your heart, if you're genuinely telling us what kind of a person you are, it has a stronger chance of getting picked up. Okay. So these are a few things that you should keep in mind when you're giving us an application. Put your best foot forward, spend at least 1 week thinking about the application, and then send it in. Don't do it in a rush. Like today is the deadline. You start at 12 a.m. at night, and you start writing your application at 9 o'clock in the evening. Don't do that. Okay. Sorry, you were asking?
Right. The next question we have is regarding the rounds of admission. So do students stand a higher chance of admission when they apply early in round 1? And do chances sort of deteriorate after each round? And if not, is there some sort of a round-wise quota for the seats that we have?
Actually, we don't. And that's why we don't have a fixed number of seats that we are looking for. We are looking for a set of students, and we feel that we'll get this much number. But if we don't get that much number, it's okay. We don't have a fixed number of seats. If we get more than that, we are okay with that too. We have a large enough campus to accommodate those students. So there is no difference. The first round students have an equal chance of getting in, and the last round, the last person who applies to us also has an equal chance, not only of getting in, also getting scholarships. So it's not like our money finishes in the beginning and we don't have money at the end. It's not the case. Everyone gets the same opportunities. Now, why we've put rounds is because we spend so much time on every candidate. I was calculating, we spend almost 15 to 16 hours reading every application. 8 to 9 people read every application. So we need time. We can't do it within a span of 3 days. We need the entire cycle to do that. So we break it up. Students who already know about Plaksha, are excited about it, or who are applying internationally, they start their applications early. More national board students apply to us in the second and third round. The fourth round are students who have just found out about Plaksha. So I would suggest don't wait till the fourth round. You'll have so many offers, you'll have so many choices. It's time to get confused. So don't do that. Apply early, get your decision from us early so that at least one way or the other when you're looking at other universities.
Right. So now you spoke about scholarships and financial aid. There's a question around that. So what kind of scholarships or financial aid does Plaksha offer, and what percentage of students in a class get financial aid?
So last year, 60% of our students got financial aid. There's a myth. Everyone feels that financial aid is for students who come from very underprivileged backgrounds. That's not the case. Financial aid is for any family which finds it difficult to pay this much fee. It's a high fee. And a lot of people ask me, what is the justification? Why do you have such a high fee? The fee is high because we are not subsidized. We are not a government college, so we are not subsidized by the government. And you just saw the kind of faculty members we have on board, right? These are faculty members who have been trained and have been teaching at some of the top universities internationally. So when we bring them here, we also pay them international compensations. So our faculty costs, our lab costs, everything is very high. So the sticker price on Plaksha's BTech is high. But we also understand that this is not the kind of money that most families will be able to pay. That's why we offer financial aid, which means if you can't afford this, send us the financial aid form. And the financial aid form will only open up for you if we are shortlisting you. If we are shortlisting you, provide us details about your family income, and we'll structure the fee according to how much you can pay. We will look at your affordability. So if we feel that a family can afford only 50% of the fees, we will only charge 50%. If we feel that the family needs support even beyond the 100%, which is they can't pay for hostel, they can't pay for meals, we will provide all of that free of cost, right? As long as it is a student that we really want in our class. So if you have cleared the admissions, we've made you an offer, we will make it possible for you to study at Plaksha, whatever it takes. We are a philanthropic initiative. We get funding from corporates and other business leaders, and they are supporting students. So like Bharti is supporting 20, has promised to support 20 students every year. Similarly, we have other donors who are supporting students. We are very keen to get meritorious students. We are not particularly hung up about money. So that's
Right.
yeah. Okay.
The next question we had is with regards to the standardized testing. So what range of SAT, ACT, KVPY, JEE, and Pearson undergraduate entrance exam scores are accepted? So what range is an ideal range for a student to have?
So last year was our first batch, and we were looking at the entire SAT score. And I'll be a little honest with you here. We were looking at the entire thing. Our averages were something around 1450. But this year we broke it down. We wanted to see the math marks. So sometimes we realized that students, a student may have 740 in maths, but he may have very low in English. So we are okay with that. For us, the math mark has to be above 700. That is a strong SAT student, right? For ACT, we've had very few applications, to be honest, just a couple of them, and they're around generally above 30. About JEE Mains, again, our averages were around, were about, definitely above 90. So those are averages, like I'm saying, which means that there were students above that, there were students below that. So don't worry so much about the score. Send us your best score, because we are evaluating your entire profile in totality. It's not one score which will get you in or get you out, right? Everything else has to add up. Your interview has to add up, your innovation challenge has to add up, everything has to add up. So don't worry as much about that, just apply to us. Okay.
Coming on to the innovation challenge, there's a question regarding the innovation challenge and interview process. So if you could just elaborate on that.
The
You
innovation
did
challenge,
explain that in
okay.
the, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I think you did explain that in the presentation, but if you could just
No,
give a few
not
more.
as much. Yeah. So Plaksha's education is based on the grand challenges of the world. We want, like I said, it's a leadership program. We want our students to become leaders who are thinking about all the challenges and problems that the country is facing, that the world is facing, right? So which means that, we should start making them conscious about society and everything around them and what are the problems and challenges. So the innovation challenge will be one such challenge. It could be on water scarcity. It could be on agricultural problems, pollution. It could be on traffic congestions. It could be on, so many challenges that the world is facing today. We'll give you a little case study. We'll give you data about that. And we are only pushing you to think. So think it through and give us solutions which are both technology based and non-technology. Now, it could be changing of social behaviors, it could be change in policy. So we want you to think about a problem from multiple perspectives, not just one, not just from a technologist's point of view, but all, multiple of those. And anyone who is able to come up with a few solutions. So we are looking at how many solutions you've come up with. Were you able to come up with tech solutions as well, or was it only social behavioral changes? Whether you are able to elaborate on one of your solutions. So out of the 3 or 4, you should be able to elaborate and detail out at least one solution, right? So these are some of the things that we look when you're doing that. Look at, sorry.
The next question we have is, out of all the majors that are offered at Plaksha, which ones are the most popular majors or the top picks for students so far?
So far, I think it's been CSAI and data science. That's because there's little information about the other two programs. But once students come in and once they engage with the others also, I can see a shift already in students and what they're choosing. Because initially they've heard of computer science and AI, they want to come in with that, but I'm sure that'll change.
How is Plaksha University different from other private engineering colleges in India?
Actually, I think I picked that up in the first slide when we talked about, very few projects being done, very few faculty members themselves trained in emerging technologies and talking about that. We're still teaching our children to become mechanical engineers, where all machines now are also connected to the internet, right? They're not just physical systems, they're cyber physical systems. Students will have to learn about robotics, otherwise they won't become good mechanical engineers. So times are changing. We need to change our curriculum. We need to move with the times. Education has to move with jobs, right? Jobs are changing so fast. If our education doesn't change with them, our children are not going to be, our students are not going to be equipped to do well in this place. So really, we feel that this is an updated curriculum, which students will be very good, sort of be very good when they've learned this. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. The other question is a very personalized question. So one of the students have asked that they have received an email with the subject, "Your profile is shortlisted."
Yes.
So they are asking if that means round one is completed, or the sort of offers that were supposed to be ruled out for round one, is that over?
If we've sent you a mail which says your profile has been shortlisted, it means you will be called for stage 2. The issue nowadays is that the exams have started and students are not coming for interviews. So we are not pushing it too much. You will get a call from us to ask you, when are you available for the interview? Otherwise, in our earlier rounds, we used to send you a slot to say you have to be ready for the interview on this date. But because you are in exams, we don't want to do it for you. Somebody from our team will reach out to you and ask you when you are available. Do keep an eye on your phone and email, and we'll be reaching out to you very soon with your interview slots.
Right. The next question we have is that how much percentage of the faculty at Plaksha is permanent or full-time faculty, and how much percentage is, say, a guest faculty or an adjunct faculty or a visiting faculty?
Okay. So if you look at the BTech program, all 16 faculty members are full-time. They are all on campus. They are all teaching. We will have other visiting faculty members or guest lectures, but those are not listed on the page that you saw. So 16 are already on campus and teaching, and we have a class of 90. The first class was 90 students. So that's a fantastic teacher-student ratio. We have already recruited about 5 more faculty members. In the coming months, they'll be joining. And we are looking to up that even more when our students choose their majors. So once the students choose their majors and we know how many students are choosing, say, data science, how many, we will obviously pad up those departments accordingly. But I think 21 faculty members definitely this year. So, and that's all full time.
The next question we have is regarding the recognition. So, is the course AICTE recognized and UGC recognized?
So we are on the UGC website, listed under the State Private University. So we are a Punjab State Private University, and we have been completely authorized to give out our degrees, which are recognized. The AICTE and other recognitions take a little while to come in. We've just come into being. Some of them use data for 5 years. Some of them, the rankings especially, take about 4 or 5 years. And because we are a university, we need to be recognized by the University Grants Commission. We are not a college. If we were a college, then we would have reached out for different kind of accreditations. But right now we have the UGC recognition, which is good. UGC also does an inspection after your course has started. They will sometime come and do that with Plaksha as well. But we are authorized to give out our degrees.
The next question we have is, since we are looking at the second undergraduate batch for this autumn, so how should a student or a parent look at placements? What statistics do they have for them?
Yeah, that's a very important question, and I'm it's your career that is at stake, and when you're applying to a new course, that's the first question you ask, right? Sometimes things look great on paper, but the way they are happening is not that great. So that's why we are so particular about who becomes a part of Plaksha, and how we deliver the promise that we have made. And the first batch of students like Shaurya are here to tell you, and you should ask him those questions. Did we deliver what we have promised on the websites, right? So we promised a very different, a very reimagined kind of a tech program which covers all those gaps. And what we feel that an educational institution should be is that it should build up a student in a way that that student is equipped to go out in the world and do any kind of jobs. A university is not a placement agency, but a university is a place where you educate yourself, build yourself up so well and so strongly that you are the kind of person that anyone would want in their organizations. And that's the promise that Plaksha is making. In the process, we do have a placement cell already, because we have the master's program which has been running and getting placed. There's a whole data on our websites, if you can see, about TLP placements. They've been placed fantastically. All our founders have also come forward to give projects and placement opportunities to these students, and the same will happen for our own students. So let's say we already have a corpus of 70 organizations, but we are going to build on it. So it's not like our students or our graduates will only work with Plaksha founders. No, they will work outside of it also, and we will help them find those jobs and find those career pathways.
All right. Moving on to the next question. The next question we have is that, does Plaksha offer some sort of a 2+2 program, or you can say a collaborative program with a foreign university like Purdue, Cornell, UC Berkeley?
So some of our programs have been designed with them. and UC Berkeley has been co-delivering the TLP program, but we don't have a 2+2 yet. There are provisions for that, guidelines for that in NEP, and we have been getting them. We will discuss it. We are too new ourselves. We are putting our own programs in place. We will look at that. We are looking at a lot of things. We are looking at lateral entries. We are looking at collaborating with other universities in different ways. But we want to build up Plaksha as a very strong undergraduate degree. We don't want it to be a place where students come in and say, okay, this is my launch pad to get into UC Berkeley. No, we want the Plaksha University's degree should be so valued that, you know, it's as good as a degree from UC Berkeley.
And there's also a question regarding the fee structure, if you could elaborate on that.
Sorry, say that again.
The fee structure.
Yeah, the fee structure I mentioned, I think we've spoken about the scholarships. You have to apply for financial aid. If you think that this fees is high, please apply for it. And we will check your income and we will check your affordability. How much can the family comfortably afford? We will only charge you that much. So don't worry about that price. You apply. I think your worry should be, how do I put forward a good profile? And not really, you know, the money right now. If you get an offer from us, work with us, tell us how much you can comfortably pay, and we'll try and evaluate your documents accordingly.
Right. There is also a question about campus tours. If
Okay.
you could let them know about that.
So we are starting campus tours, I think, from 15th of May. If you want to come and visit us, please go to the website. Go to the undergraduate programs page, and you'll find a place where you can register for our campus tours. In case you're not able to register, there's also an email ID online which says apply@plaksha.edu.in. Write to us on that. Tell us when you're coming, and we would prefer that you come on a Friday, because then we can have a set of people together, and, you know, our team and the students can show you around. So if you are really planning, then do plan on a Friday. That'll be good for us.
Right. The next question we have is a little specific. Someone has done their MSc in computer science. So does Plaksha offer any course or help for that?
So we've got the Tech Leaders program, which is which people who have done undergraduate from other places come to us, right? So they may have done an engineering course, or they may have done some other course, but are very interested to learn, you know, about machine learning, artificial intelligence. So it's a one-year program. It's a diploma course that we do. You can come and do that. It's very exciting. And the other, we're also now coming up with PhD programs. So if you've already completed your MSc, you want to do a PhD with us, then you should explore doing that with us.
Right. I think there's one more question
Mm-hmm.
where they're asking about, since Plaksha is a very new university, how can they get the kind of exposure that other well-established universities, students there get?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that meaning.
So I think this means exposure in terms of opportunities.
At Plaksha?
Yeah, in sort of a comparison to other already existing established universities.
Okay. Why don't you answer that, Shaurya? What all do you see happening on campus? I think
definitely, yeah. So I think definitely we don't see any sort of challenge that you might think we face as a new university, since we already have accreditation and collaboration with so many universities, and we have a brilliant set of founders. I mean, these are people, if privately you were to try to set a meeting with them, it would take you months or even years to sort of have a one-on-one with them. But these founders that we have, they come to campus, they visit us, they have their meals with us. We have also had instances where we have a couple of founders who stayed in the hostel with us. And, we woke up at 6 a.m. in the morning to go for a run with them. had all our meals, had them share their life experiences. So all of this, I don't think you get very rarely at other institutions across the country, and you have access to such a great set of founders and faculty. I think for me as well, when I was making the decision about coming to Plaksha, the founders, faculty, and curriculum were the three main things that actually drew me to Plaksha. Um, I think there were also a few questions about the student life and the curriculum. Curriculum, I think, is out of the world. I mean, you don't see anything of these sorts, uh, in other engineering colleges. We have courses like philosophy in engineering, which brings a whole new perspective to our learning. The kind of soft skills we get here are absolutely phenomenal. We the kind of exposure we have in terms of, say, opportunities with projects, research. All of our faculty are very into research and they promote research. We actually have a couple of faculty members who are actually taking students with them right now to sort of work on research projects that they are planning to conduct.
Yeah. And also, I think from year one, you start doing projects at the, the Grand Challenges Lab. Would you like to talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, since day one, we've been told that our campus is some sort of a living lab. And we have a course called ILGC, which is Innovation Lab and Grand Challenges Studio, where we combine all sorts of principles from design thinking, leadership, team management, etc. And we actually apply those into actual working projects that we're working on. Like if I'm to speak for myself, in my current, I'm in semester 2. So my current project is on RO wastewater management and how we can use technology and artificial intelligence and other forms of IoT to sort of tackle the wastewater that is rejected. We have a lot of teams working on food waste management. So all of these actual real problems that you see around yourselves in the world, we're actually applying technology and learning how to do that in an efficient team manner is what we're doing. And every semester you have a project which you work on. And this is all in addition to the academics that you have. And one thing I think I'd like to add to the entire session that we're having is that usually when you think of a college, you think you'll go there, you'll study, you'll do your assignments, you'll give exams, and you're done. However, that is not the case at Plaksha. There is so much assignment-based, project-based learning. There's so much hands-on learning that we do. Um, we actually don't have exams in half of the courses that we study. They're all they're all assessed based on our project.
Shaurya, somebody is asking, are you the topper here at Plaksha? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Every student
That's
is
very
brilliant
early
here.
for me to
Yeah.
decide too. But I mean, so Plaksha doesn't really look at your academics only. So you don't need to be a topper to excel at Plaksha. I mean, there's a whole. So when you come here, you'll come to the campus tour, you'll speak to our faculty. You'll never hear them talking about how you're supposed to get good grades to succeed in life. They're going to talk about how you need an all-round development, which Laksha is actually providing to us, the kind of soft skills, the technical skills. See, your core curriculum, your math, your physics, your computer science, all that you keep gaining. But the soft skills that you get is what makes the difference. And I think that is the difference that Laksha not only wants to generate good employees, they want to generate good employers as well.
True, true, true. And that's why we also have the Center for Entrepreneurship coming up. We are very eager that our students develop an entrepreneurial mindset, and they'll begin from year one to start thinking about projects like that. I can see a question from Yogita. Yogita, we don't function like other engineering colleges where you have to do a registration and then start after JEE. You can apply to us right now, even without your board scores. Right? There will be a section in the application form which will ask you how much do you think you will get predicted scores. So you can put it, say I will get this much in physics, I will get this much. So it's just a prediction. It's not like we will hold you about on it. So just fill in the predicted, send your application, and if we like the application, we'll give you a conditional offer. And whenever your JEE or your final marks come, then you send us the marks. Okay. But right now, you can fill the application already.
I think there's another question. about how our website talks about TLP placements, but not about B10. But I think it's too soon for that since we already have our first batch coming, the second batch coming. But I think usually when you look at colleges, their master's placement or other courses they already have do give you an idea about how other courses will fare as well.
And since they are all tech courses, right? That's a 1 year. So any Plaksha graduate will have 4 years of Plaksha education. A TLP student has only 1 year of Plaksha education. And if a TLP student is getting these kind of placements, you can really imagine what our own students will get, right? What our own BTech students who have trained with us for 4 years will get. So I think our placements are definitely going to be even better than these. That's it.
There
I
are
think
a lot
we've more or
of
less answered everything.
most of them were about placements, but
yeah. So somebody asked about the fee structure. Please do check our website. The fee structure is already there. We've given the annual fee structure. In a couple of weeks, I think we'll also change it to a more granular detail of every semester. So you pay your fee twice a year. We don't take the entire annual fees together. We'll take semester-wise fees. So, there'll be the 2 semesters that the year is made of, plus a summer semester. So some students also will be studying and doing courses during the summer. That's a smaller semester. And if they want to stay back for that, there'll be a separate fee for that. So that's it from us. Thank you so much. Wonderful talking to you all, but we can probably wait for a couple of more minutes.
Before wrapping up, I've got a few questions on YouTube also, if we can quickly take up from there. So this is Anurag who's watching the video on YouTube, and he wants to know about BTech lateral entry. Like in a brief, you could explain that a bit.
Yeah. So Anurag, we're still creating our policy around lateral entry. We haven't come up with a policy as such, but do apply to us. And right now we are doing it on a case-to-case basis. So we look at all the courses that you have done beforehand, and whether you need to come in for 1 year, for 3 years or 4 years. Those are the conversations that you can have with us. Go ahead and fill the application form, and we'll have that conversation with you if you want to make a lateral entry. But in the first batch, I think we already have 3 students who came in and transferred from other places. So, yeah.
I think, ma'am, basically what I see is most of them have queries regarding placement and job security. They are very curious to know about it. That is what I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I would push you still to go to our website. Yeah. Look at the 70 founders that we have. We've got BCG, we've got Fractal, we've got Netflix, we've got so many tech, we've got Cisco, we've got so many tech organizations who are, who have given their trust and resources and money and time to Plaksha. They are very keen to, help and invest in the success of Plaksha graduates. So when those companies are already there, then you don't need to worry so much.
Right. And before that, I've also shared the link with everyone. So if you have any queries also, so we have that page on Shiksha. You can always come up to this page and get all your queries solved. So if you want to know about the annual fee structure, I saw that a lot of them wanted to know about the entire fee structure and how all we can decide on that. So I think you can make good use of this link and just put down your queries also. And even though if you have some more queries, you can always make good use of Ask Shiksha, which is specially curated for these kind of queries. So you can always put up your queries over here because the experts and panelists are connected with us. So we'll try and deliver, they'll get to see the questions and they can answer you there. So please make good use of that. And before we move towards wrapping up the session, I am launching a feedback poll for all the students. And I hope the session was useful to all of them, and they got all their queries solved regarding the courses, admissions, and I did see ma'am have answered almost all the questions, helping you out and guiding you the right way, how you can apply. There were a lot of queries and doubts that you had, but I think this session has helped you, understand, and you need to apply and see that what all you can do. And there are a lot of programs that Plaksha is offering. So please make good use of that, and have that great future ahead. So you can
Bhagesh, I just want
yes,
to
ma'am.
sort of reiterate with the students that our fees is not a number, it's a range. It ranges from 0 to 6.95 lakhs a year, right? So there are students who pay 0, there are students who would pay 1/4 of that, or half of that, or full of that. So don't worry, your fee structure will be structured according to what you can pay.
Right. And all of you can quickly fill up the feedback poll, and we can have a last words of advice from ma'am, and we can wrap up the session. But as I have mentioned, that if you find any more queries, if you have any doubts, you can always connect with us. I've already shared all the links. And I know a lot of you have missed certain part or certain portion of this video. So for that, let me tell you, the entire video will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So you can go back and watch the entire video. And if you have missed any part, you can see to it. And even though if you have any queries, you can always come back to us, and we are there to help you and guide you and connect with the concerned universities and people, right? Okay, so I think, ma'am, we can, like, before wrapping up, one last piece of advice to all of them who have so many queries regarding admission.
I think Shaurya will do that best. Shaurya,
Sure,
what would you like to advise your peers? What should they be thinking about now?
I think instead of focusing on what grades you have and what grades you need, I think you should just give it a shot. Writing your application, Plaksha, is not just academic based, it's a very holistic approach. And feel free to reach out to the team anytime you have any queries. They're all very approachable. I think that was one of the factors that also helped me a lot during my admissions process, that Kanchi ma'am and the other people at the admissions team are very, very approachable. They're always free to answer your queries. And I think that's about it. All the best to all of you.
Thank you. And like I said, all the best to, for your exams or whatever you take up. Thanks,
right. Thank you
Bhagesh.
so much, Kanchi ma'am. Thank you, Shauri, for taking over the session. And thank you, all of you. I think the session was quite informative and quite useful to all of you. So looking forward to more such webinars. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.